right, Josh, welcome to Friday Fuel Up. So happy to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Mike.
Let's get into some of the questions. The first question that I had, we talked a little bit earlier in the week about your drive and dedication, and one of the things that you said that you've spent time working on is the mental aspect of the game. Now, I saw an interview with you, and you were talking about there was one specific instance where you were like, I really need to get this mental aspect down, and that shift in transition I think has just been amazing in the playoff game against the Chiefs. I remember I was sitting there and we were watching the game, and I was thinking to myself, if the ball is in Josh's hands, there's no way they're not going to win at the end of the game, because it was like, and I know you're a little too young to have watched this live, but I likened it to the Michael Jordan and the flu game in 97. It was the game 5 of the NBA finals, where he was so driven, nothing was going to stop him. And you have that mentally now, and it's so unbelievable. What have you done to kind of hone in such that mental focus linked to your physical performance?
Well, I think it's been a lot through trial and error, understanding how my body reacts when I'm thinking a certain way. And again, being around some guys that I've been around, vets, Derek Anderson, Matt Barkley, even in bringing a guy like Mitch Trubisky this last year, older guys, Lorenzo Alexander, Kyle Williams, some guys that like kind of brought me in as a rookie and tried to show me the ropes. But, there's that game. I had never been in a zone like that where, my heart rate never probably got over 100. I mean, I was
That's amazing.
so focused, so relaxed. I mean, even after that last touchdown I threw, I gave Gabe Davis a hug, but I sat down. Everybody else was having a good time. The fans were going crazy, but I sat down. I was just like, if I need to go back out there, I'm ready. So didn't get the chance to, but that's how the dice rolls sometimes. But like you asked, just how did I do it? Just trial and error, different situations, and understanding really, I think, myself as well as I can.
Do you is that or do you practice that, putting yourself in situations like in practice where it's high stress or short time, or are you a meditation guy, or is there stuff that you do on a daily or weekly basis to hone that? I think mental toughness is such a hot topic currently, especially in sports performance, but it seems like an elusive one, and you've kind of seemed to have unlocked this secret. And so I'm wondering, is there something you're doing on a regular basis specifically?
I mean, throughout the game, breathing, I think helps. So that's a form of
Breathing,
meditation, right? But
breathing
Coach
definitely helps.
McDermott does a great job with us in practice, going over situational football, putting us in situations of, you need to figure out this 2 minute drill. You got 37 seconds left. You're at the 45-yard line. You got one timeout. How do you go about this? So, I think knowledge of the situation and being prepared kind of eliminates the stress and the anxiety, and the eagerness to be out there. It just kind of allows you to be free and understand, what to do. You know
Hmm.
what the situation is being called for, and all you got to go out there and try to execute it the best way you can.
So that's kind of that process. That's a great example. Is referred to often as stress inoculation training. That you put yourself repeatedly in what would be considered a stressful situation. Like you said, one time out, got to go this far. This much time on the clock, and then after a while, it's no longer stressful because of that adaptation. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. So we have I got a question here. I know if I don't start answering the Bills Mafia questions, I'm never gonna make it to the grocery store up here in upstate New York. So I want to get to some questions. So Suzette has a question. She says, "What can we learn about team building based on the camaraderie that you've built with the Buffalo Bills?"
I mean, I think one of the things is I'm big into your relationships off the field correlate to how much trust you have on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And, last year we didn't do the training camp deal. And I don't think the last 2 years we have because of the COVID situation and whatnot. And I believe we're going back this year. I know some guys are a little upset about that, going to Rochester and having to stay somewhere other than your house and being in a college dorm room. But I think that is the funnest time in a football season, is when you get to spend 2.5 weeks with your team, I mean, you see each other from literally the second you wake up to the second you lay down for bed. Guys are playing cards with each other. Guys are going out to eat with each other. It's just stuff that I don't know. It just brings that like college like atmosphere, which in Laramie, Wyoming, that's kind of how we had it. Like there wasn't much to do there. It's kind of similar to Buffalo. I'm not putting down Buffalo, but there's not a
Mhm.
whole lot to do there. So guys have to spend time with each other to pass the time. You know, guys are going over to each other's houses, watching football games, hanging out, playing video games, things of that nature. And again, I'm a big believer in that relationship that you have off the field can pay dividends on the field.
So it's that old school, just trust time together, that you guys make that conscious effort to spend time together off the field. So then when you're on the field, it's kind of family, just like it was before.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Awesome. Great question, Suzette. So Allison has a question, and she says, what keeps you motivated on tough days?
Well, what keeps me? I'm sorry, my dog might be squeaking back here with a little squeaky toy. But I'm a firm believer in there's no bad days. Some are just better than others. So
Mm-hmm.
I have that type of mentality, and I'm sometimes been called an overly optimistic by my girlfriend and by my family because I feel like things always are going to work out because of one, how much faith I have in what's going on and how much work I've put into whatever I'm doing. But even if it's a tough situation, I see that as an obstacle to get around it. And I'm a problem solver type of guy. I want to figure out how to fix it the most efficient way. And, so being motivated on tough days, if you will, I always think of it could be worse. I woke up today, I'm breathing. My family is healthy. I got a great dog over there. I get to play golf. And I know not everybody has that type of luxury, but to know that you wake up every day and to be conscious and be in the spot you are, I think that gives you enough it should give you enough motivation to go out there and attack the day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. I think looking at it all as, and I talk about with my kids, we talk about this all the time, that they're problems that if you're interested in solving them, then it makes obstacles or lack of motivation really go away because you're really just trying to get creative in problem solving.
Yeah.
So another question, Mallory has a question, and she says, "What do you enjoy most about playing with your current teammates?"
Well, I think I alluded to it earlier, just how much time I spend with them off the field and knowing what type of guys they are. Like Gabe Davis, I'll throw him as an example. He was a guy that second year guy. We brought in Emmanuel Sanders. Gabe wants more touches because he's worked his butt off and he deserves them. And he came up to me and I was just like, "Hey, we just stay patient, just trust it." And then he goes out there and catches 8 catches for 206 yards and 4 touchdowns in the playoff game. It's just like, dude, you stayed patient.
Mm-hmm.
You worked your tail off. You didn't complain about anything to anyone. And I had so much love for him in that moment, knowing that he at week 1 to week whatever that was 20 in that second game. I mean, he deserved every moment and every shine that he's going to get to him just because I know him as a person. I know how much he loves the game, how much he loves his teammates, how selfless he is. He's a guy that goes in there and digs a linebacker out. He'll set the edge on a defensive end on a in the run game, and just a guy that does everything right. And we have numerous amount of those guys with those
Mm-hmm.
types of stories who just put in the work. They don't complain. I think that Coach McDermott and Bean have done a great job of bringing in the guys that they've brought in that really fit that mold of being selfless players. So when you've got a guy that goes out there and just works hard, you root for him. And it's not even intentionally rooting for him. It's just like you want that guy to be successful because of how he treats people and how hard he works. And again, that's just one of numerous stories that I can say, but you become attached. They become part of your family, and you want to see them succeed.
So that's, I think, this idea that is really coming together, and with every one of these Friday Fuel Up interviews, I'm always trying to pull out like what's that core thing around success. And from our conversation earlier this week, and from what you're saying now, it's like I've noticed that a lot of what you talk about centers around developing good relationships, having family that's supporting you, and building this core team, which a lot of, I think it's interesting in the NFL specifically now, a lot of players will get outspoken to the rest of the world about being unhappy about different things, not getting enough touches or not getting the ball past them, etc. You guys don't really seem to have that, and which is great because I think it puts you as in an odd position because you're out there trying to do your best, not trying to say, well, is this guy getting 6 passes, is this guy getting 7, or what that is. But it seems like you've created an environment where that's not a factor. The factor is what can each of you do to make the team succeed.
Yeah, and I think, again, I'm alluding to that last game. Stefon Diggs, and we all know who Steph is. He's, one of the, if not the best receiver in the game, and I got a lot of love for Steph. He had another really good year this year, and that last game, he didn't get too many targets because they were rolling a safety over to him, and that allowed Gabe Davis and some other guys to have some really big games. And after the game, Steph's like, I'm not even mad. Like, I did my job. I took 2 safeties. I allowed somebody else to get their burn, and that's all I can do. Like, I can't ask you, he's talking to me, I can't ask you to force feed me the ball when we got other guys open and I'm doing my job and taking the safety over the top. So it's that type of selfless want to win. And again, from our best guys to number 50, 53 or 55 on the roster, and even through the practice squad, we got guys that just want to do what it takes to win football games. And it's a really fun environment to be around when you got a lot of like-minded individuals that care about each other and they just want to help each other win.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super special, especially because that's the kind of stuff you don't hear about. It's like the complaining is much more fun news. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. So we have a question from Chris. This is a great question. Chris wants to know what advice you give to kids that feel they're not good enough, whether it's in athletics or in life.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a loaded question right there. Again, to find something, and again, as a kid, my crutch was sports. I found that I felt the most like myself playing football, baseball, basketball, swimming, and competing. And I think that sports, they give you different avenues throughout life. They give you different ways to problem solve. They give you different situations to handle with people from all different shapes, sizes, ethnicities, countries. There's a huge melting pot. So my crutch was sports. I would advise, whoever doesn't feel like they're good enough to find what makes them feel like they're good and to continue to run with it and allow that to mold them into who they want to be. Because again, I wanted to be a professional football player. That's the only thing I wanted to be. So throughout my football, baseball, basketball career from Little League on, my main goal was like, I want to be the best athlete that I can be. I want to play quarterback. And I want to do anything it takes to get there because, again, as a kid, I saw all these guys getting scholarships. So that means they're getting their school paid for. I didn't want to put my parents in that situation where they had to pay for my schooling. So went to the junior college route. And again, the story is what it is, and I wouldn't change it for anything. But I think the main thing is just finding what makes you feel comfortable, alive, energetic. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I get to go to work and throw the pigskin around today, in our facility. And
Yep.
That's the coolest thing for me is you got to have something that you enjoy doing in life. And I think everybody's got that, but sometimes it just takes some people a little longer to find it.
Let me try to get one more question. I'm going to go with the nutrition question, of course. Joseph wants to know how your diet has changed and knowing that you have, or how has your diet changed knowing that you have the potential to be one of the greatest in the game?
Yeah, so I'm still juggling ideas with diet because I eat really bad. I do. I'm not gonna lie. I eat up in there in Buffalo. There's not too many healthy spot options. So it's a lot of wings. It's a lot of this, a lot of that. And I like to have fun and we eat good. I think that's one of my favorite things to do. And I think that's one of the faults that I have is I'm a huge foodie. it's a problem, but again, I'll find a way to fix it. And again, I'm flirting with these different ideas of, do I bring in a dietitian and a chef, or do I just kind of continue what I'm doing that I've been doing? It's gotten me to this point, but at some point I do know it needs to change, because I'm not going to be 25 forever. At some point it's going to catch up to you. And that is where I do understand it, that there's things I do need to change. And again, looking into different avenues of, like I said, finding a dietitian and potentially a chef that will make me curated meals that my body can take in, eat more easily, I guess you can say, because I think everybody's kind of I think there's like blood types that you can go based off of on a diet in different ways. I've been told that a carnivore diet or a keto diet or this and that. So, but I do intermittent fast. I think that's one thing that's been constant with me. I don't really eat breakfast. I rarely eat breakfast. So my meal day is only between 12 to 7. So I think that helps keep the weight off a little bit. And again, I work really hard. So when I am training, I'm not training right now. So this is the time where I have to be extremely cautious of what I eat. During the season, it's a little different. I feel like I can eat a little more and be a little more careless because of how much we're running and lifting, and the mental part of it too. So I think it's a different thought process from in season and off season, and I'm still trying to figure out that off season piece.
Yeah. So I think everybody in the NFL should be scared, because it sounds like you haven't even unlocked the power of nutrition, which totally biased because it's my life's work, like, is the cheat code, right? So you haven't even got to the level where you've unlocked that. And then the second piece, I was actually wondering this before the call, do you have, I know that Bruce Smith has his own like chicken parm sandwich in Buffalo. Do you have your own sandwich in Buffalo yet, or your own meal?
That I don't know. I don't.
That is so.
I'm sure there's, because
the Bills Mafia who's watching this, they need to get on it. Like, cannot believe that Josh doesn't have his own meal
in Buffalo called Allentown, and they got the Allentown Burger Venture. And I think someone told me that they might have a burger, but I'm not quite sure. Not anywhere that I go to on the regular has anything with my name on it. I know there's a place called Mulberry's, which is one of my favorite spots. They got the Trey White wings. They got a couple other guys' names on the menu there. So, Joe, I'm gonna need something from you.
Yeah,
man.
This needs to. You cannot be going to a restaurant eating wings named after somebody else. This needs to get fixed ASAP.
We'll get there. We'll get
there. Oh, that's so good. So I want to be conscious of time here. We still, we've been talking about this pistachio shelling challenge all week. Between the two of us. Before we jump into that, we earlier in the week I quizzed you live on stage, some pistachio knowledge quiz our sponsors for the show, the American Pistachio Growers, and you and your family are growing pistachios. So I'm gonna play that clip, and then we're gonna come back and we will do the pistachio shelling challenge. All right, so next I want to talk a little bit. You said that you and your family now are growing pistachios, and so one of the things the American Pistachio Growers would like to do is make growers everyday ambassadors, because who better to talk about and tout the benefits of such this great product than the people that cultivate and grow them. So we got Pistachio Quiz for you, okay? Now, I promise you it's not nearly as difficult as reading coverage changes from the New England Patriots, which you do really well, so this should be easy. It's the guy in the Bills shirt in the front that's clapping, that's right. All right, so question number 1, and if you know the answer in the crowd, please don't say anything. 1 serving of pistachios contains how many nuts?
We call that an Allen family Christmas. It's 49 nuts.
49 nuts is right. Mom is impressed.
Yeah.
Mom is impressed. All right. Question number 2. 2 ounces of pistachios or 1 banana. What contains more potassium?
I'm not gonna lie, I cheated, and I saw the little coasters in our room that had the fun facts on them. Pistachios.
Hey, it's not cheating. That's not cheating. That's attention to detail. That's attention to detail. Okay, last question. Research shows eating pistachios 3 times per week lowers your risk of mortality by...
I saw this too.
Oh, man. I gotta see who was
39%?
Oh, my... Didn't even get to do the multiple choice.
I could have played it dumb, right? Made myself look
Oh,
really good.
no, you made yourself look really good. I didn't even get A. A was 7%. D was, it doesn't, you die sooner. But C, 39%. All right. So you pass. You can continue to grow pistachios. We're happy to have you in the family.
Love it.
All right. So you crushed the quiz getting the multiple. I was like, I need to make this multiple choice to give him a fair chance. And you were like giving me the answers before I was even reading the multiple choice. So before we get into the challenge, there's one more question that I got hit up that I need to ask you. And it sounds like this is the most, before you even answer it, this has been dubbed the most interesting question. So Kristen, who asked this question, you win the football. Congratulations. The question is, over time, the quarterback evolution has gone from the traditional pocket passer to a more mobile style quarterback. Where do you think that the quarterback position is going to evolve to next?
That's a good question. Again, I think the mold now is you have to be able to move. You have to be able to extend plays based on how freaky athletic these D ends and these D tackles are getting. These linebackers are now becoming more lateral instead of attacking the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you're going to see guys become not even position, like they'll be positionless. They won't be a receiver or a running back. There'll be guys that can play in the backfield and run routes out of the backfield, go into the slot, but can run away from guys. So the more attention that we're paying, one, to diet, two, to working out, and three, performance, like guys are just getting quicker. They're getting smarter about football. Because again, there's only so many different concepts that defenses can run.
Yeah.
And if you look at the history of football, the last 25 years, the concepts that the offense run are dang near the same thing too. But we're starting to see a little bit more of these college concepts being brought in with the zone reads and the athletes that can throw the ball now. So who knows? You might see a receiver or a quarterback line up as a true quarterback one play and then go out and get a mismatch on somebody and go run a fade ball. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. You might even see two quarterbacks that are athletic on the field and you don't know really how to play it. There's these, what's called a two quarterback system. And it's not the switch in and out. It's literally you have two quarterbacks on the field where you run some zone read stuff. You can pitch it to the other quarterback and you still have the option to throw it down the field. So there's a lot of different ways that you're going to see, especially it's going to start in high school and then work its way through college and then get to us. And I think it's still kind of in that little high school age right now. It's in the infancy of when it's going to get to us. But as those kids feel that and progress through, it's going to kind of follow them. And again, it'll be fun to watch. It'll be tricky to see, but I like being the only quarterback on the field right now. I think it's been working out for us all right. But the future it's exciting. There's a lot of questions out there to be answered, and who knows when we'll see that.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, two quarterbacks on the field at once. That would be something else. It would be scary for sure, especially if they have a cannon. All right, so we're going to go Pistachio Shelling Challenge. Now, it's tradition at the end of every episode with the guests, we do this Pistachio Shelling Challenge. Guests go head-to-head with me, 30 seconds, who can shell the most pistachios. If you win, you get a year's supply of pistachios. If you lose, and I like you, I got friends in the audience, so we generally can hook you up with a year's supply of pistachios as well, okay? Now, I want to just warn you in advance. So I've gone against Olympic gold medalists. I've gone against National Geographic Explorer of the Year. Last month, I beat an international soccer legend. She was not happy, okay? So I wanted to give you a little practice today. Think of it like a tune-up game, like playing the Jets, right? Just to get you warmed up. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bring up, Judy, you have the growers that are going to come up, and we're going to go head-to-head, 30 seconds, who can shell the most pistachios.
Jay Tivalde, Bills fan, come on up. Dennis Allen, come on down.
Okay, come right on over here.
Dennis Allen, where are you? Ron Marconi.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh.
Dennis, good to see you. I'm good. How you doing? Yeah, good to see you.
Dennis, you want to come? Hey, how you doing? Come sit right here.
Okay.
I can't wait to see how
Right.
he shows up at the luau.
It'll be easy. Do I need to put a buffer between you guys? or you
Coconuts
good?
and a fig leaf,
Here,
maybe.
sit
I
right
don't
here.
know.
Sit right there. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, gentlemen, so here are the rules. Very simple. 30 seconds. Shell as many pistachios as possible. When time runs up, you gotta get your hands up in the air, make sure you're not cheating. If there happens to be a pistachio in your bowl that's already shelled, I mean, it's not cheating if you don't get caught. All right? We're gonna go in
Okay.
2, 1, go. Just throw, after you shell them, just throw them on the table. It doesn't matter. Quick. Josh is a cool customer, halfway there.
Go Bills! Go Bills!
5 seconds. And time. Hands up, hands up, hands up. What we got? Well, you did pretty good here. 2, 4, 6, 8. Good. We're gonna count Josh last. What we got here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We got 10 over here. What do we got there? 2, 4, 6, 7. Josh, 37. Oh my God. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. Wow. All right. And Josh is the Pistachio Show champion. All right, guys, thank you very much. All right, yeah, you guys, we can head back to your seats. We got one
wanna stay
more
up here?
thing.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, I appreciate, we want to make Josh feel good. I appreciate you, letting him win. So that's,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jets.
Josh, I got to tell you, 12 is pretty competitive. I think I'm going to go back to my room and practice. Oh, wait, I'm getting yelled at to go back and ask one more question. I'm like digitally yelled at. Hold on. Okay. Ian Hall says, Josh, I play football at Reedley College. I played quarterback a little bit the year before you enrolled, and Chantel took over mid-season. Do you still have the Reedley College binder from Coach
Whited?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still have the Reedley College
I'm
binder
sure I
from
do
Coach?
somewhere, and it's probably at my parents' house on the ranch, in one of my rooms. So it's probably still there. But yeah, Coach Whitehead was still there when I got there, and Sean Stell was there as well. So I got a lot of love for Reedley. And again, it's part of my journey, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So yeah, it was fun.
Awesome. Great. So Josh, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in next month, first Friday of April. We'll be here for another show. Until next time.